Hi everyone, I am here today with a book review for you, and this is We Own the Sky by Sara Crawford, which I received from Sara herself in return for an honest review, and I gave this book 4 stars. Now before I start, I just want to briefly say that Sara is also a booktuber herself, and she does have a channel, so I will link that down below along with a link to the trailer for this book. So this is a YA novel that has a crossover with ancient Greek mythology. And it's also got a fantasy sort of feel to it. So most of the story is told from the main character's point of view, and that is Sylvia. And she is, I think, a 15-year-old girl. She's definitely a teenager at the very least. So a teenage girl who is sort of just trying to get on at school. She doesn't necessarily sort of have real proper friendship groups. She just sort of goes to school, goes home, hangs out with her dad, who is rather coolly in a band. Her mum is dead, and so she spends a lot of her free time just with her dad, interacting with him and his bandmates, you know, watching them rehearse and sort of just wanting to get into music more herself. And from very early on, we learn that she sees these flickering people, and she doesn't know what they are. She doesn't necessarily realise totally that other people can't see them, although she is also at the point where she's aware that she can't say something to people just in case it does look like she's got some sort of mental health problem, because she'd be there just talking to nobody. And as this book goes on, we learn that these flickering people are actually muses, and these muses can help people sort of develop their art. Whether they be a musician, whether they be an artist, they can help inspire them and create a better piece of work, whatever their sort of work may be. So that's the basic idea behind this book. Now, I was pleasantly surprised by this book because I sort of didn't really go into it with any major sort of expectations. And so as a result, I realised I was actually falling in love with it. I found the plot really interesting and gripping. So the complete unique idea, I've never read anything like this, just totally captured my imagination, and I was totally hooked. I really loved the idea of artists having these muses, and some of the chapters that we get later on in the book are actually from the point of view of one of the muses, and that's like really just another level of interesting for me. That took me away and really helped me sort of develop the world more in my head. And this of course did really help with the world building. I also found myself totally falling in love with the characters. They are really diverse, and there's some real great contrasts there. So first of all, you've got the new human muses, and these are the ones that we sort of get the most exposure to, and these are like developed from the original muses when these humans, like, just as an example, say for example when Elvis died, he had the choice to either become one of these muses or to sort of cross over and, you know, go into heaven or whatever you want to believe. So he would have, if he'd been one of these human muses, would have decided to just stick around, and then as a result he could walk around Earth, fly around Earth, whatever, find someone who he thinks looks really talented and become their muse and really help them develop their talent. So he might say I was a fantastic painter. He might be watching over me, and when he watches over me, I paint these fantastic paintings, and when he goes away, they're maybe not quite so good. That's the sort of idea behind these human muses, and yeah, a lot of them probably are based on famous people. I can't remember if there were any that I necessarily knew of, but that's the idea behind these ones. And their interactions with Sylvia, but also with each other, and also the original muses, it's just like really interesting. It really like sort of combines the whole story and immerses you in everything that's going on really well. They really were quite fun to get to know as well. There's so many characters in this bit, and some played quite a big part, and they were just, I couldn't get enough of getting to know them. And then how the teenagers interact with each other is really special as well, because I feel like sometimes with books they maybe focus on perhaps just friendships really well, or bullying really well. What they don't focus on necessarily so much is a little bit of all sorts, and how friends aren't always your friends. Like someone might come across as crazy because they look like they're talking into space. You think, oh, they've definitely got some sort of issue, and then you start saying mean things about them. Like, that is just one example of how this book deals with, like, very sort of what I suppose appears to the normal characters as mental health issues. And it was great seeing the dynamics change throughout the book as different things happened and as the groups of friends sort of interact in different ways according to the situations. It made everything feel really real, really genuine, and also just was really interesting too. Then, of course, we also have the interactions between Sylvia and her father, which is definitely not a typical child-father sort of relationship, because he has had sort of alcohol issues in the past from losing his wife. She's sort of had to take the parental role on several occasions with him, but obviously that's not how their relationship always is. And to see the dynamics change upon the situations made this, again, a really sort of interesting look at that situation. So I really enjoyed how different this book was to anything I've ever read before, and it provided so much more than what I was expecting. This is definitely the sort of book that you could read to, say, music, like if you wanted to get a playlist on the go, because this book is so heavily music based. You could even sort of take inspiration from the songs that are mentioned in this book to create your own playlist. Like, for example, one of my favourite bands of all time are in this book, mentioned quite a lot, and that is Muse, specifically their Absolution album. And so I really should have, I didn't, but I really should have just tried listening to Absolution in the background while reading this book. I think that would have worked really well. I'd say my only negative for this book, and this is definitely the reason why I gave it 4 stars rather than 5, is that occasionally I got quite creepy vibes off Vincent. Now, Vincent is the muse that decided to help Sylvia, so it's Sylvia's muse, and I get really creepy vibes off him. It's no secret that they build a relationship and that it becomes quite romantic. You can get that from the trailer alone. But I wasn't comfortable with this relationship, just because it basically gave me Edward and Bella vibes from Twilight. It was very Twilighty for this part. Other people have also mentioned this in reviews, so I was quite relieved to see that other people thought that too. But yeah, he spent a lot of time in her bedroom, a lot of time watching her sleep. The relationship's definitely not on equal footing. There are other issues which might be quite spoilery that I don't wish to go into, but as a result, I just found this bit a little bit too creepy. It made me uncomfortable, and so I had to knock a star off because I wasn't comfortable with it, basically. All the same though, this didn't detract from my overall enjoyment of this book, and I cannot wait to pick up the second book in this trilogy, which apparently is meant to be out sometime in the next couple of months. So I will definitely be picking myself up a copy of that. This book also ended on quite the cliffhanger, so I am even more eager for that sequel as a result. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I highly recommend it, but as I said, it's not without its problems, so just go into this book knowing that, and then you'll be totally fine. If it's your cup of tea, you will enjoy this, and it's really nice to just get a perspective that it's really nice to just get a YA novel that sort of focuses on music and artists, and it's quite a nice idea and something a bit different. So yeah, highly recommend this one. So thank you so much for watching this review. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me just there if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me. And I will see you tomorrow with a book tag. Bye bye!